3 bins where magic happens. We turn food into new soil, and we get to learn about decomposition, dirt, and bugs here. It's pretty amazing.
So wait, you go from like a bucket of
Banana peels and avocado pits
to this
Oh my God.
beautiful soil.
It's-
We're gonna show you how.
All right. So you may notice that there are 1, 2, 3 bins behind me. The first bin says, add new scraps. Let's check it out. Let's just see what's in here.
Oh, this is getting interesting.
In here, I notice a lot of stuff that I can recognize. So I see, an old tomato.
A moldy lemon.
I see some stinky eggshells.
And look at this, some kind of sprout that came from probably something that had a seed.
That must mean that this is already healthy soil for things to grow in.
There's an eggshell.
Ooh, I see lots and lots of leaves. That's
Yeah.
interesting. It's vegetable scraps and leaves.
Yeah, so in a scrap pile like this, you have to start out with a balance of brown and green in order for things to break down. So what do you call green in the new scrap pile?
I would call greens anything that's fresh. This is my compost from home, so I saved it to bring here. Greens include avocados and banana peels and broccoli stems. There's all kinds of stuff, even paper towels sometimes. All kinds of stuff that is scraps from your kitchen. So anything that is fresh, anything that is a plant material, and anything that is close to being still alive.
But wait a second. Okay, so I see these things that are coffee grounds. They're not green.
They're not the color green, but because there's something that's still kind of fresh, we're gonna add them to the compost pile. Anything that's a plant thing that will break down.
Green materials are anything fresh, like veggie scraps, fruit scraps, coffee grounds, or eggshells. But make sure that you don't put any meat, dairy, oily foods, or processed snacks in the compost.
And you know what they have in them that's really good for plants and really good for the compost pile? They have lots of leftover nitrogen in them, which is what plants have as well. And it's what makes compost so good for the plants out in the field or in your garden later. All the leftover nitrogen that goes back into the compost and helps later. But the thing is, if there's too much nitrogen in here and not enough brown, which is full of carbon, this gets really ucky, gucky, stinky, smelly. So in here we have to add leaves and straw and other brown items like paper or cardboard or newspaper, and we create a balance so that it doesn't get too stinky and it all breaks down to create nature's best fertilizer.
We create that balance by making a compost cake. Just like you would layer cake layers and frosting, you're going to layer greens and browns with water and air for a hot and healthy compost.
So if it had not just rained, this might be a little dry. And I think we do need to add a little air. Don't you think so, Lacey?
I definitely think so.
All right. Let's get in here and do a few turns.
Creepy crawlies. So our compost is full of bugs like these, and we call them decomposers. They're in here because they like to eat all of the plants that we put into the compost pile, and they're gonna help break it down into that soil. There's other decomposers in here as well. There's fungus. Whenever you see something moldy or slimy, that's fungus at work. And there's also bacteria, which are microscopic critters that you can't see without some magnifying glasses or microscopes. And those are at work on the teeny tiny level, breaking things down even more. So the compost pile is alive. Get back in there. Compost is a kind of recycling center, but only for plants. If we find things like garbage and plastic and wrappers, sometimes these things make their way into the compost pile because someone finishes their food and then throws it in what they think is the trash can. These will not break down. If you see, it's broken up and it's pretty dirty, but that's not gonna ever turn into new dirt. So we don't put these things in the compost pile. And when we find them in there, we take it out and put it in the garbage. Our compost pile is recycling for plants only. Now that we've turned our pile, it's time to add more green and more brown so that we can keep making more compost. I'm gonna dump my compost bucket from home. I'm gonna spread it out. Ooh.
Ew, that's slimy.
And stinky.
Now I'm gonna add my brown, just like a compost cake.
So, the next bin is the resting bin. This is where we put our compost when it's mostly decomposed from our new bin, but it's not finished decomposing yet. This is the waiting period. So in here you can see that our compost, it looks pretty much like soil, but there's still things that I can recognize in here. I can still see some tiny eggshell parts, and I can still see some seed cases. And when I'm looking even closer, oh, there's lots of bugs in this guy. See all those? When I'm looking closer, I also see a lot of peach pits and other seeds. The things that are left are the things that take a long time to decompose. So there's no more banana peels, but there's lots of seeds. Those are gonna stay in here for a little bit longer because it needs a longer time to decompose. And we're gonna let it rest there for a month or two or maybe longer until it's ready to go in our I'm done bin.
This is my favorite part of composting. This morning we're gonna sift. This is the I'm done pile because it's had time to decompose just about everything that's gonna decompose. So we're gonna take a scoop and put it in this nice little sifter that we've made. This is amazing because you run your hands through here. And of course, there's a few things left that are not going to decompose. Remember, only weather and millions of years are going to decompose these. Rocks are going to go out. So a few sticks are left. We can't do those. We're going to run our hands over this. We're left with just a few things that can go back over here. But look at this. This is incredible. Soft, feathery, light. What I want to point out is this is not soil. This is compost. Soil is made only by earth and its erosion powers. This is compost and it's amazing for our plants. It's nutrient rich and it's something that you can do by being a really good steward, and we want to encourage you to do so. So we're going to include a fun page that has all the different methods you can use to compost, but most of all, it just means being a good steward, saving all of your green waste, putting it in with all your brown waste, taking some time to turn it, working it, adding air and water, and then ending up with this lovely compost that your plants are going to love. And guess what? All these nutrients, they go back into your fruits and veggies, which feed your body and make you healthy and strong as well. So we hope that you will try composting and that you'll get to hold in your hands something this lovely and soft and wonderful as well.